And there she goes, walking out of my life forever. Sad to see it go. Can't keep them all. A little sad to see that one go, but hey, what's next? So the 1940 is gone. Sold it last week to a guy in Oklahoma, and even though that was one of the bucket list cars I always wanted, it was time to go, because sometimes you gotta sell things to fund other things, and with a 95-foot hearse, it's eating up my budget rather quickly. So I was cruising the interwebs looking for something to buy and found a little project up in Kentucky. I was wanting to hop on an airplane, fly up there, grab it, and then fly back home. So I ran this idea past Laura, and my response was a little less enthusiastic than I had hoped for. So plan B was to drive up there with a truck and a trailer, which I don't have, so I'd have to borrow one from somebody, and that was not working out very well for me. So plan number 3 was to just rent a car, drive up there by myself, hook it up, and drive back home. The seller was not real enthusiastic about me making it all the way home, which I would gamble it. I mean, really, it's only 12 hours, and besides, I've seen roadkill. What could go wrong? But that did not work out either due to time constraints. So I went and had it shipped. It's showing up here today, so I can't wait to unveil it. Here waiting for this guy to show up. Kind of feel like a kid waiting for Christmas. It's like just waiting. So typically I change cars about I'd say on average every 2.5 years. I don't get too attached to any of them. It's always chasing the next bill or the next project or something like that. But like everybody, you have a vision in your head, and you can envision yourself cruising along, looking cool, and then you're like, oh, I can't wait to get that. But typically the only way to pay for stuff is to sell stuff. So it's just sometimes things just got to go. Plus, space is always an issue. Try storing a hearse, for God's sakes. I don't know what I'm going to do with that. But yeah, I'm in definite needs of a new vehicle. I was quite bored with that one, so can't wait. The anticipation is killing me. That one's not mine. And there we are, owner of a brand new Toyota Corolla. Probably cost more to ship that thing than it's worth. And ta-da! I sold my 40 Ford and bought another, you guessed it, 40 Ford, but a pickup this time. This ain't so bad. Always wanted a 40 pickup. It's getting a little late and the storm's rolling in, so I guess we'll drive it tomorrow. She's kind of rough, but she's a driver. No reason to stick with the original. Okay, so what's the plan here?
We're gonna start measuring the panels and the windows for the headliner and the door panels and the upholstery. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes lots of sense.
It needs a headliner, and we need to put the headliner in before we put the windows in. And we have all of the windows now because we got the windshield. So we got to seal this bitch up so we can start rolling. So we're going to measure all the windows, and we're going to label the headliner. What are those things called? Rods?
Those are the bows.
The bows. So that we can take them out and make the headliner and then put them back in properly. So I'm just gonna start making some measurements for my door panels. Hey, why is this hole here?
That's for the speakers, for the sound system. We got to have that wumpa wumpa sound.
Okay, so then this has to be fabric?
I got to talk to Shane. He said something about doing some crazy stereo bullshit back there. I don't know.
Okay, well, that doesn't help my upholstery plan. And this window, because of the shape of it, I'm gonna do that double rod where it just has the ruching in it instead of like swingy curtains, because this window's too small for that. But the other windows will have the curtains.
And a couple of cutouts of those trucker girls in the back window?
No.
So one of the things that has to happen is the headliner has to go in before the windshield, because it actually tucks up in here underneath. So we're gonna put the headliner in first, and then we'll do all the glass. So while I'm building the floor, Laura will be stitching and bitching.
I will be.
So what is your master plan for laying this design out? I mean, there's a empty cavern here.
Well, this is gonna have the window that we just talked about, right?
Right.
And the curtains, and then the panel for the speaker. And then we're gonna have the carpet, and on both sides of the wheel well will be vinyl. And then the windows have curtains in them with a little bit of tassels on the bottom. And then 2 rows of seats. The headliner is going to be velvet, because who doesn't like a little velvet?
It's like a coffin.
Exactly. What is this? It's one big coffin. That's basically what it is. So velvet headliner, we've got vinyl, we've got some decorative fabric and some cording, and we might have a little fancy surprise for the carpet color. We don't know. We ordered a sample. We'll see. My design for the windows and measured out, and then we just have to count the bows and find the center, so we can take these out and make a headliner. What is this button? Oh, is this a gas tank?
Yes,
Oh,
that
it's
is.
so fancy. Did you see that? Watch.
Yeah, I've noticed it. Yeah.
Beep. Just like that. Petrol. So cool. Spider webs.
I should get one for the other side so you can put, like, I don't know, missile defense in there or something.
What about my flamethrowers?
Yeah, they're in a work in progress. Work in progress. All right, let's get to work.
Oh, look at that spider. He dropped down right in front of the camera.
Yeah, it was gunning for me.
Oh, he's scary looking. We're just gonna end his life. It's fine.
Well, yeah, he could have helped. All right, let's get these out.
Okay, so here's my plan for the inside of the hearse and what it's going to look like. We've got some amazing green velvet, which is going to be the headliner. And wait, this side. Who doesn't love a little green velvet in your casket, right? So green velvet, dark green velvet for the headliner, and then in the back, in the wheel well area in the back of the hearse where you would put the coffin, we're going to do some dark green vinyl, different than the velvet, some dark green vinyl. And we've got these amazing lantern lights like this, like that. And we're going to put some green glass in here. This has already been replaced once with some plastic, whatever that is, but we're going to replace it with some green glass to match the rest of our glass that's inside the hearse. So we've got these 2 bad boys that are going to go in the very back where you would put the coffin. And then as a decorative insert, we're going to use this diamond shaped that is reminiscent of a casket. And so inside the door panels and in the partition that blocks off the front seat from the back seat, you'll see this on the inside. And it'll be in this, if we look at this pattern here, the outside will be the vinyl. And then the inside will be this fabric, and we're going to have some really cool buttons with maybe some skulls on it or little coffins. We haven't decided yet. And then in the bottom part of this area, it's going to be the green velvet that's going to be ruched like it is in the back of the windows. And so we've got this little dark green casket theme going inside with maybe a little gold cording and some gold fringe on the curtains. A little bit of a surprise compared to the outside of the hearse, which is that nice black, very worn patina that we're going to keep. And so that's our plan. This is my plan. This is my awesome sewing machine, upholstery sewing machine, a Consew. We are going to get started on the headliner. We've already cut the fabric, and we're going to start that, and hopefully we'll be able to show it to you as soon as we're done. We're still waiting for the carpet sample because we haven't really decided what direction we're going to go with that, but we will show it to you as soon as we have it.
So today's adventures are going to include installing a gas tank. So this is where the gas tank went, and I found that the stock gas tank, which had nothing wrong with it, no longer fit because the air ride was in the way. I didn't care to measure that, it didn't make a difference anyway, and figured I had to modify it for the LS swap anyway, so getting a new one was not a big deal. However, it fits differently, so I got to figure out a way to mount it. Now this here is the stock gas tank mount, which is nothing more than a piece of angle iron. I don't know if this is factory or not. It appears to be as old as can be, so I think I'm going to go ahead and probably either modify this to fit my application or just do it from scratch. I think the first thing I need is get rid of this. I no longer need this since the floors are going to be so high. And this is what I got. So, scrounging around on the old eBay, and I found this 17-gallon aluminum tank. And then I bought a fuel line kit for the LS swap. This is actually made by a company called Evil Energy, and the only reason I bought it is because it's from Evil Energy, and I thought it was funny. So I got that, and then the stock gas tank mounting straps, which I'm going to hope to actually repurpose because I like them. Maybe just rebend them or something like that to fit the tank. And then I got transmission lines over there too, which I can get those mounted up and at least all run forward. And that will be the last thing I got to do before I start building the floor on this beast. So one of the things with the stock tank, is the gas door. Is here in the tail light. So it fills, through here, which I don't know if you're familiar with them, but it's the coolest part of the car. So I definitely want to retain that. And the problem is it actually comes down and mounts it into the bottom of the tank, and that is definitely not going to work. One is because the car is so low. So I think I'm going to pull all this out, rework it, and have it come out in this area here. This will be where the floor sits. So come out through here and then drop into the top of the tank where the filler neck is. So this is the filler neck, so I'm thinking I'll just get rid of this here, make a plate, and then put a 90 on it, and then the tube can come in and tie directly to that, and then I can retain everything in a stock factory fashion. That's at least my loosely put together plan anyway. So, I'm going to grease this thing. This is actually doesn't serve any purpose anymore. It was one of the mounts for the floor, so it is no longer going to be needed. Well, shit. That wasn't supposed to happen. There we are. All right, plenty of room now. So you grab that old mount, put it in there, and see what happens. Oh yeah, it's too big. I knew that. Alrighty, so it used to screw to the bottom here, but it's pushed back, so this actually might be a workable area. So maybe I can cut this off and put a 90 and screw it here, which is probably the best bet. But it gives me clearance. There. Let me grab that tank. Alright, you wait there. So within this in a preliminary spot, where it's mounted now is 6 inches, and that board represents the ground, and the tank is 8 inches. So the top of the tank needs to come at least to here. That way it'll be high enough to not hit the ground, which would be really bad, and low enough to pick up the fuel tank. So maybe I'll replace this with a piece of 1x1 and have them come forward. That would mount to the body, which I don't want to do that. However low this is. Frame's there. I'd like to mount it to the frame. So, alright, let me do a little math here. I'll have to keep one of those mental notes to not work on aluminum stuff in the sunshine. That is darn near blinding, and it's cooking me from the bottom down. Anyways, so yeah, I think I'm going to run a piece of 1x1 across there, weld it on, and then some strips will come this way, and another bar that'll run from about this area here all the way across. I can mount the tank. I think I'll put my air compressors right here and here. I feel like I'm getting one of those like suntan things, you know, those little mirrors. Oh, it's roasting out here. The one day I need clouds. Right. Alrighty, so now with that bar clamped in place, and this bar on the inside where I want it, got my level on there. So now it's just a matter of bringing cross braces over for the tank. So that's next. That should work. I'll repurpose these a little bit. I left them a little bit long so I can put a little rubber spacer in there. I'm going to do that side. So with the preliminarily setup in there, that is 100% going to work. So I'll finish mocking up the fuel neck before I weld anything solid. So I got the neck taken off. So the next step is to cut a ring for that. Put a tube that'll come over, puncture this side, and then modify the pickup tube there. Easy peasy. And most importantly, we got plenty of ground clearance. I'd say it's probably in the, usually maybe a little higher than what's stock. So we're going to be good there. That's going to be perfect because we don't want to drag it on the ground. That there should work. So that goes like that. That guy will go like that. That will put me where I need to be for my filler, which will come out about right here. All right, so I got that welded in there, mounted solid. So now time for the filler neck. That should be loads of fun. So the first thing we're gonna do is drill a hole. If we can fish that sucker through there. I'm gonna figure out how to bolt it. It looks like the whole assembly bolts in with just that bolt, so maybe I'll get lucky and it actually comes out. I'm personally not hopeful, but you know, we'll give it a try. So it helps if I actually screw the thing down there. There we go. That's better. Whoa, that got sketchy. What we got? So I got myself a tube stake here, so that should work. Let me get that out. All right, that is convenient right there. Whew, thought that was a rat. There we are. So I'll just take and chop a section out of here, weld it back together, and probably cut this off here and put a fitting for the gas tank vent. It's one of the, I think an AN 8 or AN 6, something like that. Easy peasy. I think that's just about the right amount. It was full of grass. That was weird. That hose is about 9,000 degrees. That's sitting in the sun. That thing is hot. There we are. That is a fuel grade hose. Not just your regular old radiator hose. That ain't gonna work. Alright. That'll go yonder. I'll take this piece and go inside and connect the two pieces, which you won't be able to see because there's no way to put a camera up there. So use your imagination. Alright, got that disaster done. Let's go ahead and complete that. And since we're back here, let's go ahead and finish this off with the new lens. These suckers are well used. Yeah, clearly I still need to rewire the car, but you know, sometimes you got to have that little pop of excitement to keep you motivated. And sometimes it's just as simple as a taillight. Ooh, baby. That, my friends, sets it off. Oof. And with that, I think I'm going to go lay in the pool because it's hot as hell out here. So maybe once I refresh and have some adult beverages, we'll go drive the new truck because I actually haven't had a chance to take it on down the road yet. So. And there it is, 1940 Ford pickup. All the way from Kentucky. I was looking for something that was a little more stock, but this popped up and I just couldn't say no. It's got a killer patina on it. All the hard work's been done. It's been frame off. All new suspension, air ride, all that good stuff. Interior's all been cleaned up. Made a seat out of a caravan. So it needs a little upholstery work. Ain't no big deal there. Triangulated 4-link and a 9-inch. I'm not sure how long ago this was painted, but it was a lot older than I am. Got the rocket wheels, or the radar knockoffs, I guess they are, and brand new tires. He's a little beat up, but hey, what is it? That is a 390 CAD motor out of, I think, a 69 Cadillac, which I could have used about 3 months ago. That thing is stuffed in there, something fierce, man. Definitely, definitely took some work to get that thing in there. It's got the Repop 40 Ford steering wheel on it, odometer gauges, even a drink holder. Never undervalue the drink holder. So let's just go ahead and make it our own. Put our friend Mary there, and what the hell are these things? We'll just toss those out the window. All right, let's go for a ride. Let's light this baby up and do something. This thing has a working speedometer. I don't think I've ever had one. That's a first for me. And a working fuel gauge. That's like bonus round. I wish I really would have went to Kentucky and drove it back. This thing's a gem. Well, just did about an hour trip in it. It's 95 degrees. It didn't overheat, so that's good. Which is probably because there's so many holes in the floor that all the heat goes through there. It was like, that thing was like cooking my feet. Well, there's definitely some room for improvement, but overall, I'm happy I made the purchase on this thing. It's going to be a fun little shop truck. Anyways, I think that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. We will see you next time. Well, maybe.